Everything that's been built for 19 years.
Gone.
In a blink of an eye.
Communities across Alabama and Georgia are reeling this morning after a deadly tornado outbreak. And one Georgia family narrowly escaped destruction. However, their home was not so lucky. We will tell you what happened. And a man will appear in court today accused of murdering a Perry County man.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:59 on Monday, March the 4th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News this morning. Well, we've said it a couple times that if you're up to the north, you could wake up to a dusting of snow. If you're down here in the south, you're going to want to warm up your cars a little bit earlier because mine had a little layer of ice. Watch out for the roads, but besides that, not much on the ground to speak of. Let's bring in Brandon, who will give you a better breakdown of what to expect on this Monday. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, my friend. And you basically summed it up quite nicely there, but we'll break it down a little bit more with the graphics. And we're going to see, as we go to live pinpoint Doppler radar, a few little specks of blue still trying to show up there. So some flurries or some flakes flying still this morning in some areas. Those should be gone here by mid-morning, but visibility is rough in some areas. Down to less than a mile there at Wise, 7 miles at Pikeville and Harlan, 6 in London. So be careful if you're traveling UVA-wise. A little better right now, but look overnight. It's been so foggy through the overnight hours, and that trend will continue. US 119 up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. Again, some snow up there, but not too much on the road, so that's a good situation for us, but the fog is still around. 29 in Middlesboro, 25 in Moorhead. That's your range this morning. We're also seeing 25 Jackson and Logan, 26 in London, 27 Harlan, and 28 right here in Hazard. When you factor in that wind chill, got a couple of sensors out there, but we're feeling pretty cold. Teens in a lot of locations. So your headlines for today: slick spots are possible early, especially along those bridges and overpasses, so keep an eye on that. Decreasing clouds as we go through the daytime hours. Sunshine maybe late, closer to sunset, and a cold few days are ahead as we head into the first part of the first full week of March, if you can believe that. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, deadly storm slammed into the south yesterday. The sheriff in Lee County, Alabama, says at least 23 people died when a tornado hit their town. CBS's Chris Martinez has the latest.
Storm chasers in Lee County, Alabama drove right at a huge funnel cloud Sunday.
Oh, dude, that's a big tornado.
The storm leveled everything in its path. The small town of Beauregard is devastated.
We're talking several miles that it traveled on the ground. The damage is significant. I would put it into a category of catastrophic.
Search teams are picking through the rubble looking for survivors.
If family members are still missing, we're searching.
A number of tornadoes or suspected tornadoes ripped across the south on Sunday.
It is a monster, but it is on the ground in full force.
This one touched down in Fitzgerald, Georgia. Another tornado swept through the town of Talbotton, Georgia. A view from the air shows home after home ripped to shreds. In Smiths Station, Alabama, a cell tower came crashing down on a busy highway. With so many homes damaged, officials in Alabama expect the death toll to rise. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
Now, the tornado watch also covered a large area of South Carolina, including the cities of Charleston and Columbia. Meanwhile, authorities said a tornado was confirmed by radar in the Florida Panhandle late yesterday afternoon. The storm brought down trees and power lines across the area, blocking roads and making travel treacherous. The threat of severe weather continued into the evening hours yesterday. A tornado watch was in effect for much of eastern Georgia, including Athens, Augusta, and Savannah. Well, a Georgia family is safe, but their home is completely destroyed after yesterday's storms. Scooters on the sidewalk, debris on the deck, and the roof ripped off. When they got home, they found stuffed animals, mattresses, and the rest of their belongings in their backyard. Their front door is now inside their kitchen. No one in the Barber family was injured, and they'll all be working together to pick up the pieces. Well, a large winter storm that started in California has now made its way all the way to the Northeast, some 2,500 miles by the time it reaches Maine. It has been tough getting around in the middle of the country, but this morning parts of the Northeast will have up to a foot of snow, and behind this storm is a deep freeze.
This massive weather system, now moving east, has already set off a series of single-car accidents near Wichita, Kansas, and hammered the Midwest with heavy snow and high winds. The National Weather Service warns an Arctic air mass could now push temperatures dangerously low. Icy road conditions caused more crashes along Interstate 90 in South Dakota as gusts of snow reduced visibility. And the State Highway Patrol in Missouri is reminding folks behind the wheel to drive slow and drive safe after this semi-truck crashed on Interstate 44 in Franklin County. Early Saturday's snowfall did lead to some sledding in New York Central Park, but officials warn Sunday's overnight forecast is no child's play.
Welcome to extreme weather and the new normal.
The National Weather Service has a winter storm warning in place from Maryland to New York all the way up to Maine, and snow could accumulate at up to 1.5 inches per hour. There are still 16 days before spring. Tony DeCopel, CBS News, New York.
Now, there is some good news for travelers. A road on the Tennessee and North Carolina state line will reopen today. Officials with the Tennessee Department of Transportation say State Route 352 closed on February 24th. The road department did not say what closed the road. It will reopen today at noon. Well, in Harlan County, one boat ramp and recreational area is back open following the recent flooding. The Martins Fork Lake Boat Ramp and Smith Recreation Area reopened late last week. Officials say you still need to watch for floating debris when you are out on the lake and for large items that might be submerged. Meanwhile, Buckhorn Lake is at 824 feet as of this morning. Here is video of the lake from last week. The Army Corps of Engineers Louisville District says the lake is falling. The gates are set at maximum capacity. Winter pool is 757 feet. The lake fell slightly short of breaking the all-time pool record. Well, today, a Perry County murder suspect will enter a plea. James McIntosh is scheduled for arraignment in the afternoon. He is accused of shooting Danny Mullins multiple times Wednesday in the Glomar community. Deputies have not released a motive in the case. Meanwhile, a visitation for Danny Mullins was held last night. Family members tell us many people attended to share memories of Mullins. A funeral will be held at the County Line Community Church today, starting at 1. Mullins leaves behind a wife and daughter. Mullins will be laid to rest at Mountain View Memorial Gardens. He was 42 years young. More than 8 months ago, a person or several people broke into the Union Association building of the Old Regular Baptist Church in the Ashcamp community in Pike County. On Wednesday, 24-year-old Michael Adair turned himself in and was arrested. WYMT's Mary Ann Fletcher caught up with one man who attends the church to learn more.
A rainy but hopeful Sunday.
He volunteered and went in to give himself in. We were thankful he did that.
In June of last year, this man, Michael Adair, reportedly vandalized the Union Association building of the Old Regular Baptist Church in Pike County.
It cost us quite a bit of money, quite a bit of labor.
If it wasn't for the help of many, damage costs could have added up to nearly $10,000.
The people have worked so hard here to establish this, and they come along and vandalize it. It's very upsetting.
Instead, after some help from donations and free labor, repairs totaled nearly $7,500.
And we're thankful for every donation and all the workers that help work to get it back in shape.
Jimmy Dale Sanders has been a church member for 50 years, and although it's easy to be upset with Adair for the damages,
God teaches us not to hate, to love people, although we get upset at times, naturally.
Sanders says he hopes Adair will turn his life around and get the help he needs.
We're glad he come forward, admitted it, so we'll see where it goes from here.
Hopeful for the future.
Just come and see us.
In Pike County.
Come and see us.
Mary Ann Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, police say a fire was set as part of the break-in, so Michael Adair is charged with second-degree arson. Well, Clay County deputies arrested a woman yesterday afternoon for vandalizing the Davidson Cemetery on Highway 1482. Deputies say Mary Amanda Jones from Oneida was driving a car that went off the road and hit several headstones and destroyed other property. Deputies charged Jones with violating a grave site. She was taken to the Clay County Detention Center. Well, an Knox County murder suspect will appear in federal court today. Philip Lee Lewis spent the last few weeks in a Michigan jail. Police caught him in Flint, Michigan. Lewis is charged with shooting Gary Medlin during an attempted robbery at the A&B Quick Stop in Gray back in January. He faces a federal charge of being a convicted felon with a firearm and a state charge of murder.
A few flurries coming down here in Hazard once again this morning, but no major activity. Let's take a look at the Hazard cameras. We look outside the studios, and again, a little bit of fog off in the distance, but so far not too bad. A little bit of water drops there on the camera in Whitesburg this morning, so we're continuing to watch. Again, maybe just a little bit of snow falling in some areas. Not showing up too much on satellite radar to that last loop there, just coming into play. A little moisture still pulling off the Great Lakes, so we're going to continue to watch that. Road temperatures, again, a little bit on the cooler side, so be careful this morning. As you head out the door, we're going to continue to watch that. Some spots below freezing, so some slick spots definitely possible, especially on some of those bridges and overpasses, and we're going to continue to monitor this situation through most of the morning. You can see a lot of school closings and delays there on the bottom of your screen. You can always see those too at WYMT.com. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. We have a neat story for you. A new pizza shop opened up and it is helping the homeless. We will show you how. And do you think you can spend 24 hours on your feet? Well, this past weekend, hundreds of students did just that, all for a good cause. We will tell you all about it.